Hey, my friend, come, sit with me for a minute. I need to tell you something that took me decades to figure out, something that completely flipped my world upside down. For the longest time, I believed that the only way to get what I wanted out of life was to fight for it, to white-knuckle it, to control every single little detail. And you know what? All that effort just left me exhausted, frustrated, and further away from my goals than ever. Then, one day, I stumbled upon a secret, a kind of divine paradox that changed everything. I discovered that the fastest way to get everything you've ever wanted is to stop trying so hard. Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me. This isn't about giving up. It's about tapping into a power so profound, it feels like magic. If any part of what I'm about to share makes your soul tingle with recognition, like a long-forgotten memory, do me a favor. Let me know you're here with me. Give this a like. Subscribe if you want to walk this path together. And please, share your own story in the comments. Even a simple, "I'm not alone," or 777, lets me know we're on the same frequency. And trust me, knowing you're not alone in feeling this is a comfort beyond words. Let's dive into this a little deeper, okay? I want to ask you something. You ever feel like your life is one big struggle? Like you're constantly swimming against the current? I used to think that current was the world, my boss, my bills, my relationships. But the real truth, the one that hit me like a ton of bricks, is that the struggle wasn't external at all. I was the one creating the storm. It was all happening inside me. A whirlwind brewed from just how much I was attached to everything. I remember this one time so clearly. I was at this big, important networking event. The air was thick with the smell of expensive cologne and the low hum of forced conversations. I walked in, and instantly, it was like a switch flipped. The whole room felt like it was closing in on me. I could feel my heart start to pound against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the sudden silence of my mind. It was as if a giant, invisible spotlight had found me, and suddenly, I wasn't a person anymore. I was a specimen under a microscope. Every eye in the room, or so I thought, was on me. My ego went into a complete meltdown. Is my handshake too firm? Too weak? Did I just say something stupid? I looked at my suit. Was it too much? Not enough? Even the way I held my glass of lukewarm club soda felt like a performance being graded by a panel of invisible judges. I was convinced that every single person there was picking me apart, analyzing my every move. Can you relate to that feeling? That overwhelming sense that you're being judged? It's exhausting. It's a total drain on your soul, spending all that precious energy trying to manage what other people might be thinking. The crazy part is, it's all an illusion, a ghost story we tell ourselves when we care too much. But then, right there in the middle of that crowded, stuffy room, something inside me just broke. It wasn't a dramatic explosion, it was more like a quiet, final sigh. Maybe it was a whisper from my higher self. Or maybe I was just so bone-tired of the performance that I couldn't keep it up for one more second. And in that moment of surrender, I had this crystal-clear thought. I can just choose to stop caring. Now, hold on. This wasn't me giving up and deciding to go home. It was something different. It was this wave of unspeakable peace. It was the serene realization that my worth, my value as a human being, had absolutely nothing to do with what anyone in that room thought of me. It was a conscious choice to just be, to just stand there, breathe, and let go of the need to be liked, to be impressive, to be anything other than myself. And you won't believe what happened next. The second I made that choice, I felt the tension in my shoulders, a tension I didn't even know was there, just melt away. It was like a thick, heavy coat of armor I'd been wearing for years had just dissolved into thin air. I took a deep breath, a real one, and the air actually felt different. A few moments later, someone came up to me, and we started talking. And for the first time all night, the conversation wasn't a script I was frantically trying to follow. It was real. It flowed. I was just listening, just responding, just being me. And the weirdest thing happened. People started coming over. They were drawn in, not by some clever thing I said, but by the sheer quietness of my energy. My ease had become magnetic. Nothing in the room had changed, but I had. I had finally gotten out of my own way, And by doing that, I allowed the universe and the people in it to just meet me where I was. So, what's the deal with that? Why on earth does the universe seem to roll out the red carpet the moment we stop trying to force the door open? It's a principle I now live by, something ancient sages have known forever, the law of detachment. It's this beautiful, frustrating paradox. The more desperately you chase something, the more you try to control it, the more it seems to dance just out of your reach. I remember being a kid on the beach in California. I'd scoop up a big handful of that warm, golden sand, and as long as I kept my hand open and relaxed, it would just sit there in my palm. I could feel the gentle weight of it, see the tiny flecks of shell and rock. But the second I thought, I don't want to lose this, and squeezed my fist tight, it was all over. The sand would pour out from between my fingers, and the tighter I gripped, the faster it escaped. My attempt to possess it was the very thing that made me lose it. Isn't that just a perfect picture of how we live our lives? We have these beautiful desires, a dream job, a soulmate, a sense of peace, and instead of holding them with a gentle, open heart, we clench our fists around them. Our energy becomes tight, needy, and fearful. We're screaming at the universe, I don't trust you to bring this to me. I have to force it. And that very frequency of lack and fear creates a wall of resistance. By trying to force our reality into a specific shape, we block the natural, divine flow that is trying to bring us something even better. Opening your hand, my friend, is a profound act of faith. It's telling the universe, I trust your timing, I trust your wisdom. I know that what is truly meant for me will find me. And it's in that beautiful, terrifying, open-palmed surrender that the universe can finally place its most precious gifts. Let's ground this big, cosmic idea in our day-to-day lives, because that's where it really counts. I think about this one job I wanted so badly in my 30s. I mean, I was obsessed. I prepared for that interview for weeks. Afterwards, I tortured myself, replaying every answer in my head. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, my stomach in knots, thinking, oh God, why did I say that? I probably refreshed my email 100 times a day. My whole energetic field was just a tight, desperate knot of please, please, please. And of course, I didn't get it. But a few months later, after I'd completely let it go and started focusing on a small project I actually enjoyed, an even better opportunity landed in my lap out of nowhere. It felt like magic, but looking back, I know what it was. It was alignment. I had finally stopped squeezing the sand. It's the same with relationships, isn't it? I once tried so hard to fix a friendship that was falling apart. I forced conversations. I overanalyzed every text. I tried to control how the other person felt. The more I pushed, the further they pulled away. It was painful. It wasn't until I finally took a step back, focused on my own peace, and released the need for that friendship to survive that things started to change. By giving it space, the dynamic healed in a way I could never have forced. This isn't just some feel-good mumbo-jumbo. It's real. People, situations, your destiny, they all respond to the vibration you're putting out. Desperation is a repellent, a calm, trusting ease. That's a magnet. The universe is like a giant mirror. It doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. And that, my friend, is a secret worth more than gold. Now, at the very core of all this is the way our minds are built. Think of it like this. Your mind has two channels you can tune into. Let's call them the focus channel and the flow channel. The focus channel is your ego, your problem-solving, analytical brain. It's the part of you that's always on, always trying, forcing, and controlling. It's great for doing your taxes or planning a trip, but it's a terrible place to live. When you're tuned into this channel, you're constantly creating tension and resistance. You're trying to muscle your way through life. But then there's the flow channel. The flow channel. That's a state of pure grace. You've been there. Athletes know it as the zone. Musicians feel it when a song just pours through them. It's that beautiful space where you're so absorbed in what you're doing that time just melts away. Your actions feel effortless, guided by something deeper, by your intuition. You're not thinking, you're not trying, you're just being. That's where creativity is born. That's where the real magic of life unfolds. But here's the kicker. And this is the part that so many of us miss. You absolutely cannot be on both channels at the same time. You can't be in that beautiful, effortless state of flow if you're obsessively attached to the outcome. You can't be in the zone if you're constantly worried about whether you're going to win or lose. The energy of caring too much locks you firmly into the focus channel. It's like you're literally standing in your own way, blocking the door to your own genius. The true art of living a beautiful life, a life of power and peace, is learning how to dance between these two states. It's about using your focus to set a clear, heartfelt intention to know what you want, but then having the deep spiritual maturity and faith to switch over to the flow channel, to release your attachment and let the universe handle the how. It's exactly like trying to remember a name. You know this feeling, right? It's right on the tip of your tongue. The harder you try to force it, the further it runs away. Your brain just locks up. But the moment you surrender, the moment you say whatever and think about something else, pop, the name just appears in your mind, clear as day. Your mind had to shift from force to flow. This isn't just a neat little brain trick. It's a model for a profoundly spiritual way of life. Your soul doesn't want to hustle and grind. Your soul wants to flow. So, what does this all mean for you, for the life you're living right now? It means that most of the stress and the roadblocks you're hitting aren't punishments from the universe. They're loving signals, a cosmic mirror reflecting back to you that you're holding on too tight. Let's get really practical here. Think about money. The more you obsess over what you don't have, the more you live in that tight scarcity frequency, the more you repel abundance. But when you relax, when you trust that your value will be recognized, and you allow yourself to receive, you'll be amazed at how opportunities just start showing up. Or love. If you're chasing it, believing another person holds the key to your happiness, you'll only ever find people who run from that kind of pressure. But when you do the sacred work of filling your own cup, of becoming the source of your own joy, you radiate a wholeness that is absolutely irresistible. The right person doesn't complete you, they are drawn to your completeness. This even applies to your own happiness. Have you ever tried to force yourself to be happy? To just command yourself, relax, damn it. It's impossible. It's a fight you can never win. True, lasting joy isn't something you achieve, it's something you allow. When you stop making happiness a destination you have to struggle towards and instead just allow yourself to be fully present in the journey, that's when you find little pockets of joy sneaking in all around you. So, how do we actually start living this way? How do we master this dance of detachment without just checking out of life? For me, it started with a few simple shifts in perspective. First, and this is a big one, stop treating everything like it's a life or death situation. That work deadline, that awkward conversation, that thing you said that you're still cringing about, just zoom out for a second. In the grand, sweeping epic of your soul's journey, is it really going to matter in 5 years? Or even 5 months? Probably not. When you lower the stakes, you release the pressure. Second, you have to learn to trust. Trust yourself, trust your gut, and trust the divine timing of the universe. This isn't an excuse to be passive. No, you still show up. You still do the work. You still take inspired action. But you let go of the need to control the outcome. It's like planting a garden. You prepare the soil. You plant the seeds. You water them. You do your part. But you don't dig them up every morning to see if they're growing. You trust the process. And third, you have to rewire how you feel about uncertainty. Most of us are terrified of the unknown, but what if, instead of a scary void, you started seeing it as a blank canvas? The future isn't written in stone. It's a fluid, living thing that you are co-creating with every thought and feeling you have right now. When you let go of needing to know exactly how things will turn out, you open up space for miracles, for possibilities far grander than anything your anxious mind could have cooked up. And that brings me to the final, most important piece of this puzzle. You have to redirect your focus to the only thing in this entire universe you actually have control over, your own inner state. You can't control what your boss thinks of you. You can't control the stock market. You can't control if someone texts you back. But you can, 100% of the time, choose your own response. You can choose the energy you bring into a room. You can choose the thoughts you give your power to. This, right here, is your sacred domain. When you shift your energy from trying to control the uncontrollable world outside of you to mastering the beautiful world inside of you, you become unstoppable. And the most wonderfully ironic part of it all? The very moment you stop needing everything to go your way, you'll look around and be shocked at how often it does. When you release that desperate, needy energy, you create a vacuum that divine possibility rushes in to fill. The things you use to chase the love, the success, the peace, they start to turn around and move toward you. The right people, the right opportunities, they just seem to find you. It's because that frantic, grasping energy repels, but a calm, confident, open-hearted alignment is the most magnetic force in the cosmos. You're not forcing, you're not chasing, you're simply being, and that, my friend, is where your true power has been waiting for you all along.